Hello there and welcome to a new episode of the C++ series for competitive programming. So today we will learn about conditional statements. We'll also learn about what are if, else and else if statements. So let us start. So first of all, what is the use of double equal to operator or basically is equal to operator? So it is basically used to compare between two items like variables, integers, strings, etc. So for example, it is given here 2 equal to 3. So it is used to compare is 2 equal to 3. So the answer would be false. So we can also so the possible outputs for the given operator is true or false. So now let us see in IDE as well. So for example, C out 2 equal to 3. Then it should give the answer as false. But you need to note that here 0 means false and 1 means true. This is basically in binary form. Now let us see. So you can see the output here, it's coming out as 0. So here 2 is not equal to 3. That means it is 2 is equal to 3 is false. We can also do something like 3 equal to 3. And now it is coming as true because 3 is equal to 3. Now what if we don't use the given brackets here? So the code will give an error because of the operator precedence. The operator precedence of double equal sign is more than the operator precedence of this sign. So we need to always put this here. Then only the code will run. Now we also have many other operators like is greater than equal to. Like you can use this in the same way as equal to. Like it is equal to 1 is smaller than equal to is greater than, then the answer would come as false, like 0. See, the answer is coming as 0. And like if we do it like 2 is smaller than 3, then the answer will come as 1, true. So here we have the answer. So now let us move on to conditional statements. So what are conditional statements? A conditional statement is a set of rules performed if a certain condition is met. It is a statement referred to as if-then statement. Because if a condition is met, then an action is performed. And examples of conditional statements are if, else, and else if. So let us to understand this, let us take a real life example. So what will you do if it is raining? If it is raining, then use an umbrella. So we can tell the computer to if it is raining, then use an umbrella. So now let us move on to what are if statements. The basic syntax for if statements is as follows. If condition is met, then run the following program. Run this piece of code. So what happens is like let us take an example as int x is equals to 10. Like it is an integer that is equal to 10. So if x is greater than 10, then run this piece of code. That is cout x and l. Now this piece of code will not run because x, which is 10, is not greater than 10, and you can see the code is not running. Now let us put x equals to 12, like for example. Now if x is greater than 10, that is equal to that is greater than 12. Like 12 is greater than 10, then it will print out cout x and l. So basically, it will print out 12. Let us run this program again. So the output come out as 12. So this means that this piece of code is running as well. Now as we discussed in real life example, like bool is raining is equals to false for now. Now let us keep it here. If is raining is equals to true. If it is raining, then what to do? We have to use and umbrella. So as of now, it is not running. This is bool is running is false. So this piece of code will not run because it is saying if is running is equal to true. Then only this piece of code will run. So for now, this should not run here. See, this code is not running. Now, if we put it as true, then the output should come as use an umbrella because condition is true and the condition is met. So now let us see. Yes. So the output is coming as use an umbrella. So now let us do. So now let us do the example given here. That is, if a value is taken from the user is less than 10. So first we have to take a value from the user. So let us take it. Int x, c in x. And then if the value is less than 10, then display the words value is less than 10 on the screen. So we have to give the output as value is less than 10. Okay. So if, like we did here, here what we put is the condition. If value is less than 10, if x is less than 10, it is basically a condition. Then what we will ask the piece of code to do. So what we will ask the piece of code to do is, we have to print out that value is less than 10. So we'll do cout value is less than 10. So let us put an input such as 5. Now it is less than 10, so the output should be the value is less than 10. See, it is coming as here. And now let us put the value is as, for example, 12, which is greater than 10. Then there will be no output. See, there is no output. And if you also keep the value as 10, here the 10 is smaller than 10. This is also false. So so this statement will not be printed. So let us see. So we can see here nothing is going printed here. Now let us move on to else statements. So what happens with else statements is that if the if statement does not work, then another statement known as else statement works. So the syntax for else statement is very easy. You have to write just else and then two brackets. So what happens if the x is smaller than 10, then it will print this. And if and else if the if statement does not work, then the else statement works. So we can use that cout value is equal to or more than 10. So we can see here. So the value is equal to or more than 10. So what happens is that when you take when you take the input x, so x here becomes 10. So is x smaller than 10? No. So then this statement gets skipped. And then we move on to else statement because if statement did not occur. So the output would be value is equal to or more than 10. So we can also use one more example like we did of raining. Like bool is raining is equals to false. So if is raining is equals to true, then we will print out use an umbrella. And else if it is false. So basically if this piece of code does not run or if this condition is not met, then this piece of code will run. So that means that is raining it would be false. So then we will use, so we will write here is don't use an umbrella. So now let us see what the output should be. So let us see what the output should be. The first is raining is equal to false. And so is raining equal to true? If is raining equal to true, then use an umbrella. But this is false. So this piece of code will not run. So now we'll move on to else statement and this piece of code will run. So the output should be don't use an umbrella. So let us now output the following code. So here you can see it is the output is coming as don't use an umbrella. So for example, now if you use it as true, the output should come as use an umbrella because is raining equal to true. So we can see here use an umbrella. So now let us move on to else if statements. So as you have seen in the if statement, if a condition is met, then use the if statement, and if the condition is not met, then we will use the else statement. So now what is the use of else if statement? So if we want to have multiple ifs in a given statement, so we can use as else if statements. So while the if statement can be used to check one conditions, else if is used to check multiple conditions. So for example, we have to use else if only in between if and else statement only. So we can use else if here. And then the syntax for this is pretty easy, just like if statements. Like here it would be the condition, and here would be the code that will run if the given condition is true. So it is always between if and else statement. So now let us use the same example we did there, like int x, cin x, and if x is smaller than 10, then we will use here the value is less than 10. And we also use that else if the value is more than or equal to 10, then we will use the value is greater than or equal to 10. But now what happens, we can also include one more statement, like if x equal to 10, like here in the condition here, if x equal to 10, then we'll print out the value is exactly equal to 10. So now what happens, if the value is less than 10, it will print out as the value is less than 10. And else if, it means again an if statement, and if the value of x is equal to 10, then it will print out the value is exactly equal to 10. And if both of the statements are incorrect, then only the else statement would run. So what is the given here? The value is greater than or equal to 10. So here the equal to 10 would not be there, because we have also because we have already implemented the condition of x equal to 10 here. So what will happen here in the code is, we will take an integer x. So now let us take x equals to 10, and let us now run the program. So what should happen here is x smaller than 10? No, it is not smaller than 10. So this code will get skipped. And now else if, is this code is x equal to 10? Yes, it is true. Then what will happen is it will print out that the value is exactly equal to 10, and then the else statement will also get skipped. So what happens here is, we need to note that only one statement runs here. So for example, if there are multiple else if statements and multiple else if statements, so what happens, like if we have else if any conditions, like, and so forth, like if we have multiple else if conditions, so if only one of the conditions is met, so if only one of the conditions is met, so what we can do is, so what happens, so if only one of the conditions is met, so what happens is all the other piece of code gets skipped. So now let us see the output. So what will happen here is, when x is equal to 10, so basically 10 is equal to 10, then only this piece of code will run and this will get skipped. So let us print the output. So here we can see the value is exactly equal to 10. Now if we put the input as like x has 12 for example, so what will happen here is, if x is smaller than 10, this is wrong. So this piece of code will not run. Then if x is equal to 10, then this will also not run, because x is not equal to 10. Now so only this statement would run. Then the output would be the value is greater than 10. So the answer is the value is greater than 10. And if we also use a value like smaller than 10, so what will happen here is, in the first statement itself, if 5 is smaller than 10, it is true, then see out the value is less than 10. And all the other statement would get skipped, because we have written here only one statement run, an if else statement. Now let us see it. So we can see the value is less than 10. So thank you for watching. In the next video, we will do some basic programs related to if else statements.